Good evening, Seth. Good evening, Edwin. Good evening, Roberto.
Good evening, teacher.
How are you guys? How are you, Edwin?
I am fine, teacher. And you?
Good. How was your weekend?
My weekend was very good. I spent my time with my family. I was resting a lot.
I rested a lot. Do you work on Saturday?
No, my day off are Sunday and Saturday.
So good for you because you have weekend off.
Yeah,
Good.
it's good for me.
Uh, nice. Now, Lisette. Lisette. How was your weekend, Lisette? I guess she has problem with connection. So, Roberto Zuniga, how was your weekend?
Hard teacher, but happy.
Bad. Why bad?
Hard, but very happy.
Why do you say?
Hard,
Oh, hard.
less fussy.
Do you
Yes.
do you work on Saturday and Sunday?
Excuse me?
Did you work on Saturday and Sunday?
Yes, my day off are Tuesday and Wednesday.
Hmm. So you had to work.
Yeah. Yes.
So well, probably for you, a Thursday is like the weekend for you. So a Saturday and Sunday is like Monday and
Yes.
Tuesday. Good,
Yeah.
good. How about Nancy? Good evening, Nancy. How was your weekend?
Good evening, teacher. Good, because I already start working.
Really? When do you start?
Yes. Saturday.
Okay. Do you work on Saturday and Sunday?
Yes.
Good, good. How many days were you out of work?
19 days.
19.
No, 20 days.
That's
20 days.
that's a lot.
Yes. Yes.
Good. Let's see. We also have Marlon. Good evening, Marlon.
Good evening, teacher.
How are you?
I'm fine.
And how was your week?
It was relaxed. Um, very, very nice.
Okay. Do you work?
No, I worked from Monday to Friday only.
Good, good for you. So you're similar to Edwin that you had a weekend off. Good.
Yes.
We also have David, but he doesn't have the microphone on. Good evening, Omar.
Good evening, teacher.
How are you?
A little busy.
A little busy. And how
Yeah.
was your weekend?
Mm, more or less, more or less.
Do you work on Saturday and Sunday?
Sorry,
Do you work on Saturday and Sunday?
can you repeat? I can hear you because audio.
Uh, I was asking you if you worked on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, see, yes, yes. See, I work on Saturday and Sunday too.
Okay, good. And we also have Francisco Spire. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you, Francisco?
I'm good. And you?
Good, good. Thanks.
How are you?
I'm good. A little bit sick, but good. because I think that I will. I'm not sure if I will get the flu or if it is allergy. But
Okay,
I've been sneezing, so maybe allergy for the wind. And
maybe.
we also have Lisette, but she's connecting again. So I hope you all had a nice weekend. I hope you rested enough. We have David over there. Good evening, David. I hope you all had a nice weekend. And we are going to start with the attendance. So I will show you the attendance. You say present when you hear your name. First person, Felix is not here. Josue is not here. Eric is not here. Marlon,
Present.
Adolfo is not here. Nancy,
Present.
Omar, Marcus Pin,
Present teacher.
David,
Present.
Francisco Gaitan is not here. Constantino is not here. Stanley Pina is not here. Edwin Mendez,
Present teacher.
Manuel is not here. Juan is not here. Lisette, well, she's there. Francisco Spire
Present.
and Roberto Zuniga. Okay.
Present teacher.
Now, today we have last topic for the unit, which is unit number 2. So we are going to have the last topic, and then tomorrow you have the exam. Yes, if you remember, I told you the exam would be on Tuesday. My internet connection is failing. Okay, Lisette. Yeah, because it says connecting the audio, but she doesn't get connected. So we are going to have the last topic, and then tomorrow we have the test. So the topic that we have for today is something that I introduced on Wednesday, last class. If you remember, I told you that you had the foro evaluado, and the foro evaluado was about that. Yes? And it was using when you want to ask for permission or when you want to describe rules or permissions that you have in some places and like that. So some of you answered over there, you selected a place and you described it. Some of you, I guess, you forgot that you had that homework, but you have to complete it today because today will be last day to do it. And it is in Foro Evaluado. The other one is Entrega de Ejercicios that you also need to complete. Only 11 people answered the Foro Evaluado, so there are 7 people missing. You have to do it. So we have in a restaurant, in a church, at work, in your house, uh, at the airport, in universities, in a training room, in the traffic jam, in Cerro Verde or at Cerro Verde, during the camp at Casa de Cristal. So, like that. We are going to check them later to see if you did it correctly or not. So, I'm going to share the screen and we are going to start with the conversation that we always have at the beginning of the class. So, this conversation is between Sandra and Mr. Sia. Yes? And Sandra says, "Good morning, Mr. Sia. I want to know about the procedures with the new employee." "Well, he cannot continue with us." "I see. Is it because of what happened?" "Yes, he was caught smoking inside the company, and it is not allowed." "I understand. He knew the values of our company, so there is no excuse. And also, it is not allowed to sleep in work hours." "You are right. It is also not allowed to use the cell phone in work hours." Now, questions about vocabulary in that conversation? No questions?
Teacher, what's mean cough? Uh,
What's the meaning of?
cough or algo así, and they say, yes, he was cough smoking inside the company.
Oh, he was caught. He was caught. It is like he was captured or he was surprised. Yes, it's like catch in the past. He was caught. Fue descubierto. He was caught smoking. Fue atrapado. Another one? No? Okay, so Sandra is gonna be Nancy and Mr. C is gonna be Edwin. Let's listen to them. Nancy? Nancy, you are Sandra and Edwin is Mr. Cia. Okay, I will try to help you. You're saying that you have problem with the audio. So I will request for you to open the microphone. Only click on accept. Speak.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's listen to them.
Good morning, Mr. C. I want to know about the procedures with the new employee.
Well, he can't not continue with us.
I see. Is it because of what happened?
Yes, he was caught smoking inside the company, and it is not allowed.
I understand. He knew the values of our company, so there is no excuse. And also, it is not allowed to sleep in work hours.
You are right. It is not allowed to use the cell phone in the work hours.
Pronunciation it is allowed. Allowed. Yes. It's similar to fuerte. Allowed and this one allowed. They have the same pronunciation. Yes. Good. Next one, Roberto Zuniga is gonna be Sandra, and Omar is gonna be Mr. Cia.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Cia. I want to know about the procedures with new employee.
Well, he cannot continue with us.
I see. It's because of what happened.
Yes, he was caught smoking inside the company, and it is not allowed.
I understand. He knew the value of our company, so there is no excuse. And also, it is not allowed to sleep in the work hours.
You are right. It is also not allowed to use the cell phone in work hours.
Good, thank you. Only Roberto, the pronunciation again, allowed. Allowed, allowed. Good.
Now,
Next one, Marlon is gonna be Sandra, and David is gonna be Mr. Cia. So let's listen to
Good morning, Mr. Cia. I want to know about the procedures with the new employee.
Well, he cannot continue with us.
I see. Is it because of what happened?
Yes, he was caught smoking inside the company, and it is not allowed.
I understand. He knew the values of our company, so there is no excuse. And also, it is not allowed to sleep in work hours.
You are right. It is also not allowed to use the cell phone in work hours.
Good job, good job. Now, last one. Lisette, can you use a microphone?
Hello, teacher.
Okay, good. So the person that will help me is Francisco Spire. Francisco Spire, you're gonna be Mr. Sia, and Lisette is gonna be Sandra. Let's listen to them.
Good morning, Mr. Sia. I want to know about the procedures with the new employee.
Francisco Spire.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Well, he cannot continue with us.
I see. It's because of what happened.
Yes, he was caught smoking inside the company, and it is not allowed.
I understand. He knew the values of your company, so there is no excuse. And also, it's not allowed to sleep in work hours.
Okay,
You are right. It's also not allowed to use the cell phone in work hours.
thank you. Good. Just pronunciation. Again, the pronunciation is allowed. Allowed, allowed. And the pronunciation is also. Also, also. And the last pronunciation is hours. Hours, hours. Yes? So, as you can see in the conversation, they are talking about rules, rules that you have at work. They are saying it's not allowed to smoke, it's not allowed to sleep in work hours, and it is not allowed to use the cell phone. So, those are rules that you have in companies. Now, I'm going to ask, let's see, Nancy, let's try your microphone. Nancy, what are some rules in Sandra's company?
Not smoke, not smoking,
Mm-hmm.
not sleep in work hours,
Mm-hmm.
and not use the cell phone in work hours.
Okay. So if you say, for example, not smoking, not using the cell phone, that is correct. But in another way, you can say like it's allowed to, it's not allowed to, and like that. As you were saying, it's not allowed to smoke, it's not allowed to sleep in work hours, and it is not allowed to use the cell phone in work hours either. Yes? Now, Marlon Castillo, what is the problem with the new employee?
The employee with he is that he was caught smoking inside the company, and it is not
Good,
allowed.
exactly. Next one, Edwin. Are these rules similar to your company's rules? Yes, no? How similar are they?
Yes, it's not allowed to sleep in work hours, for example.
Is it allowed to smoke at your company? Is it allowed to smoke?
Uh, there is some area specific for smoking.
Really? For
Yes,
for employee or for visitors?
for
Okay,
all
interesting.
people, or
Interesting.
employee, visitors. Yes.
Okay, that's good. Now, Is it allowed to use your cell phone at work? Let's see.
Yeah,
Edwin?
yes, but when when we are working is we work with us hand, yeah, because we are mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
But for some time we are waiting for quality control or for some materials. We can use the cell phone.
Oh, we can use a cell phone. Okay, good. And this is what we are going to see right now. Edwin said we can use our cell phones. And when you say can, it's similar to say be allowed to. Yes? You use be allowed to, be, because you need to say I am, he is, she is, and like that. So when you are allowed to do something, that means that you are permitted. That means that you can do it. Yes? So it is exactly the same. If I tell you, for example, in my neighborhood, you can, I don't know, you can have pets. Yes, you can have pets. Or I can tell you, in my neighborhood, you are allowed to have pets. And the meaning is exactly the same. It means that you are permitted to do it. If it is negative, you are not allowed to. You are not allowed to, I don't know, you are not allowed to throw the garbage on the street. Yes? So you are not allowed to. But here we have some expressions, like when you say it's allowed to, it's not allowed to, and you tell the situation. For example, Roberto, can you read the grammar section that you have in the box?
Hey, use it's not allowed to talk about prohibitions that we have in particular place.
Okay, in negative, you are talking about prohibitions.
Prohibitions.
Prohibitions, that means that you are not permitted to do it. It is prohibited. Yes? Continue, Roberto.
It's not allowed to smoke inside the facilities. It's not allowed to use cell phones. It's not allowed to take tools home. It's not allowed to sleep in working hours. It's not allowed to drink alcoholic beverage. It's not allowed to run in any area of the company.
Good, thank you. So as you can see, it's not allowed, it's not allowed, it's not allowed, it's not allowed. So it means that you are not permitted to do it, that it is prohibited.
Prohibition.
In other words, good. So the structure is always the same. It is, if it is negative, it is not, or it isn't, and then allowed, then to, and then the verb. Now let's analyze what you did for evaluado, just to see how you did it. We're going to see it right now. And it says, number one was Edwin Mendez. He did it last Wednesday. Okay. It says, I'm allowed to have pets at the park. So he's describing rules at the park. I'm allowed to have pets at the park. I'm allowed to run at the park. I'm allowed to eat at the park. I'm not allowed to do indecent acts at the park. I'm not allowed to dump trash on the park. In that case, is in the park. Now, is what Edwin wrote correct or not? Is it
Yes,
correct?
it's correct.
Exactly. It is. It is. Next one will be for David. You have to tell me if it is correct or not. Stanley Ipiña. Can you read it, David?
Number one,
Mm-hmm.
in a restaurant, you are allowed talk.
Second one?
In a restaurant, you are allowed to have a party.
Okay, next one.
In a restaurant, you are allowed to do a phone call.
Next
4.
one.
In a restaurant, you aren't allowed to buy food.
Okay, next one.
In a restaurant, you aren't allowed to smoke in public.
In
Or
public.
pub. In
Now,
public. In
now the
public.
question is, are they correct or not, David?
Mm, Yes, correct.
All the sentences?
I think what's one, it's it's incorrect
Why?
because in a restaurant you are allowed
Ah,
continue to
it,
talk.
it is with D. Allowed with D, not with T. Good. Another mistake?
Yeah.
Another mistake, David? No?
No.
Okay, who can find another mistake in that sentence? Who can find another mistake? Roberto? Edwin? No? Nancy? Lisette? Can you identify a mistake in that sentence?
Yeah. In the number one,
Yes,
they put a
number
rower.
one
Yeah.
is with the letter D. That is what David
Yes.
said. But in the rest of the sentences,
In number two, I think there are no sense that in a restaurant you are allowed to have a party.
in some restaurants,
Maybe,
yes, you,
really.
you are allowed to have a party because you have a specific section. Not in all restaurants, but in some restaurants, yes. For example, for
Okay.
kids, if you go to Burger King, there is a specific area for parties. So it's like a fast food restaurant, but it applies for restaurant. So they have a specific area. If you go
Okay.
to another restaurant, they also have like a little space over there where you can have some events like um, Christmas parties for companies like that. So there are some specific areas. Another mistake that you can identify.
And the number five is not smoke in public. Is smoke at
Oh,
public
it's in
or on
public.
public
In public.
on public.
No, it's not possible to
Okay.
say on public. It is in public. In public.
In public. Okay.
Another one, there is another mistake, but I need you think. No?
To do a phone call, make a phone call.
Perfect. It's not to do a phone call, it's to make a phone call because you create it. You create a phone call. Do is to complete an activity, make is create the activity. So you're going to make a call because you will invent it. You will say hi or you will say whatever you want. The conversation you created. Now, number three. No, this is number two. Let me see. No, number three, Nancy. It says, in a church, you're allowed to wear jeans and tennis shoes. You're allowed to participate in the activities to helping others. You're allowed to create or have friends. Huh. Create or have friends. Now, are they correct, Omar? Omar Crespin? Are the sentences that Nancy wrote okay or not?
I think that will be meet or have friend.
Meet or have friends?
Yeah, maybe
Maybe.
because create is the person we can create first.
Uh, uh-huh. Good point. Who else? Francisco?
or or maybe make friends.
Oh, that sounds better. You are allowed to make friends.
Yeah,
That's the only expression. You are allowed to make friends. Not create, not have, because have, if you make a friend, you have a friend. Good. Another one?
in the second negative, there she didn't put to. You are not allowed to eating inside the church.
Exactly. It has to be you are not allowed to eat. To eat
Sorry,
inside the
sorry.
church.
And the second is to help others, no helping. I think
Exactly. After to, it needs to be the ing form. So those are the three mistakes you can say. To help, not to helping. To make friends. And allowed to eat. Good. Let's move on to the next one. Next one was David. David said, I have a short conversation that is not work related. Well, have a short conversation that is not related. Oh, I'm allowed to, he wrote on the top, I'm allowed to have a short conversation that is not work related. I'm allowed to ask my coworkers for help when I don't know how to do something. I'm allowed to check my cell phone or answer an urgent call. I'm not allowed to, not respecting biosafety protocols. I must wear a mask and safety glasses. I'm not allowed to working under the influence of alcohol. Are they correct?
No,
No,
Why
is
not?
then
to work
Where?
in the second of negative.
Exactly. I'm not
I am
allowed
not
to.
allowed to work.
I'm not allowed to work. Exactly. You
and
don't
the
have to
number
say
one,
to working. Yes. And in the number one, what?
uh, I'm not allowed to not respecting.
Huh. I'm not allowed to not respecting is like double negation. Probably I'm not allowed to disrespect. Yes, I'm not allowed to
Mhm.
disrespect biosafety protocols. Good. And the rest, is it okay? The rest of the exercises? Yes, no. The other one is when you say, I'm allowed to check my cell phone or answer, and it's not and. It has to be an urgent call. An urgent call. Yes? Now, next one was Joshua. In my house, I'm allowed to watch TV, listen to music, take a nap in the afternoon, and in my house, I'm not allowed to, let's see, play soccer in the kitchen and get dirty the walls. Get dirty the walls. Okay, are they correct? Yes? Roberto?
I believe in the second negative of prohibition
Mm-hmm.
is incorrect. Incorrect.
Exactly.
I'm not allowed to dirty the world. Dirty the world.
I'm
It's
not
not get.
allowed I'm not allowed to dirt. The walls could be, or I'm not allowed to get the walls dirty. Get the walls dirty could be another one, or I'm not allowed to dirty the walls. Yes? Good. Now next one. Juan, it's allowed to talk with person. It's allowed to drink and eat inside the airport. It's allowed to walk inside airport, but it's not allowed to walk in restricted area. It's not allowed to smoke inside airports. It's not allowed to carry weapons. It's not allowed to talk about pumps. To talk about pumps. Okay. Now, are they okay? Omar? Francisco?
Yes, teacher.
Are they okay?
Yes, teacher. Just in the last sentence, I think that the workers want to write bumps, no bumps,
I, I was
bumpas.
I was thinking about it because I think that since it is an airport, the word that you don't have to use is bumps. But I don't know why he put bumps. But I think that it is bumps too. Yes, bumps. Good. That is one. And you are right. It has to be bumps. Another one?
No, teacher.
The first one is not with person. It's not allowed to talk with people. It's not allowed to talk with people, not with person. The number two is correct. Number three, it's not correct. He's saying to walk inside airport, and it has to be inside the airport. Same thing is the next one. It's not allowed to smoke inside the airport. Yes, and like that. Good. And the last one that we are going to check today is Francisco Gaitan. It says, in the university, you allowed to walk for the hallways. In the university, you are allowed to sit on the stairs. In the university, you are allowed to sit on the hallways. In the university, you don't allow to smoke. In the university, you don't allow to eat on hall. Are they okay?
No,
How do you correct it?
is missing the verb to be.
For example,
In the university, you are allowed to walk for the hallways.
good. And as you can see, in all the sentences, he's missing the verb be. Yes, in all the sentences. Uh, and in the negative form. In the university, you don't allow to has to be you aren't or you're not allowed to, and like that. Yes. So as you can see, you always use the verb be because it is be allowed to. Yes, it means that you are permitted to do it. Now I'm going to play a video, and in this video you're going to see how be allowed to is similar to can, and it is different from have to, different from must, and different from should. Obviously, when you say should, is a suggestion, and when you say you are allowed to, you're just describing a rule. You're just describing a rule. Yes, and when you say you should, is more like a suggestion. But we are going to watch this video and we are going to see how different should and be allowed to are, have to and must to.
Hello, I'm Helen from Los Angeles English School. In this video we're going with you to look at the usage of should and to be allowed. And I would like you to look at the board. What is the difference between should and must and have to? If you have watched my previous video on must and have to, you already know the difference between these two modal verbs. So let's refresh a little bit in your memory. Must and have to, they are very similar and express strong obligations. If we talk about should, what's the difference between should, must and have to? Should expresses a mild obligation or advice. For example, you want to give some advice to somebody, then you use should. For example, my friend is ill and I say, you know, I think that you should stay at home. It's like a mild obligation and I give my advice. I think that it's better to do. Now, based on my explanation, we will practice should in some sentences.
As you could hear, she was saying that should is more like advice or suggestion, and have to and must, they are for strong obligations that you have. Yes. So how would you complete the exercises? Let's see, David, number one.
You should show the passport at the airport.
The passport. Hmm. Is that a
Passport
suggestion? Is that a suggestion or a strong obligation, David?
is obligation.
So you cannot use should because should is for suggestion only. When you think that something is a good idea, you say should.
Uh, you must have to.
Now only one, must or have to.
Uh, wait, sorry, you have to show the passport at the airport.
You have to show the passport at the airport. Could be, or you must, because it is a really strong obligation. You must show the passport at
Yeah,
the airport. If you don't show it, you don't pass. Number two.
yeah.
Nancy, if you want to practice English, you, and then get an English pen friend. An English pen friend is a friend that you have in another country and you text each other, you send emails, you send chats, you make video calls.
You should.
You should because it is a suggestion. Good. Next one. Joshua, you stop at red lights. Red lights in the traffic light.
Have to.
Or with more obligation,
Must.
you must. Exactly, because it is a strong obligation. Or you have to. Number 4, Roberto, I think you go to this cafe.
I think you should.
Yes, you're right. I think you should go to this cafe. Why? Because it is just a suggestion. Now let's keep watching it.
I would like you to think over what you need to use, should or must or have to. The first sentence, you, a blank, show the passport at the airport. What do you think? You should show the passport at the airport, or you must or have to show the passport at the airport? So, of course, it's a strong obligation. It's very important to show our passport at the airport. It's not just the advice or a good idea. That's why you need to use you must or you have to show the passport at the airport, but not you should, okay? So both options are okay. You can say you must or you have to. You must show the passport at the airport, you have to show the passport at the airport. The next, if you want to practice English, you blank. You should get an English pen friend, or you must get an English pen friend, or you have to get an English pen friend. If you want to practice English, really having a pen friend, it's not the most important thing. If you want to practice English, you should get an English pen friend. It's not a bad idea. So it's really some good advice, but it's not so important, okay? The next, you blank should, must, or have to stop at red lights. So of course, to stop at red lights, it's very important. It's a strong obligation. Since it's a very strong obligation, it's a rule, it's a traffic rule, you need to use must stop at red lights. So you must stop at red lights. You cannot say you should stop at red lights. Okay? The next, I think you blank should go to this cafe, must go to this cafe, or have to go to this cafe. Of course, it's my advice. I think that this cafe is really good and I advise somebody to go to this cafe, and you need to use should. I think you should go to this cafe. So let's recap again. Should expresses a mild obligation. It's really not the obligation, it is just you think that it is a good idea to do and you give some advice to somebody. Okay, the next what we're going with you to look at is to be allowed. Here I have written the word can. Why? Because to be allowed and can, they are very similar. It is mostly the same. I would like you to use the expression to be allowed. Because can, it's very easy and everybody can use it. Yeah, it's very simple. You can do this, you can't do that. It's very simple. But let's learn how to use the expression to be allowed, okay? So the first, I have some rules for teenagers at school, and teenagers cannot do something. The expression to be allowed shows their permission. Permission, it is if you can do something or you cannot do this. So you need to get a permission in order to do something that you aren't allowed to do. Okay? If you have no permission, you cannot do it. You aren't allowed to do it. So the first.
Okay, now let's go to this part. As we were hearing on the video, she was saying that you can say to be allowed to, or you can use can. But the difference is that can is more common. Be allowed to is like a different structure, and it is a little bit more formal, we can say. Yes. So first person will be Edwin. How do you complete it?
Kids are allowed to wear casual clothes.
Good. Can be. Kids are allowed to wear casual clothes. Uh, really, Omar. Can you watch a video correctly, guys? Guys, could you watch a video? Could you follow the video? Anyone? Could you watch the video, guys? Could you follow the video? Or there was a delay?
No,
No what?
no, I don't watch the video.
And the rest? Could you watch a video, Nancy?
Yes.
Edwin, could
I
you?
have problem to seeing a video, the video.
Could you watch it, Edwin?
Yeah, I watch, but the audio is not good.
Okay, let me try something because I'm uploading videos on YouTube too. So I will try to stop it and I will play it again. But summarizing what she was saying is that you can use can or you can use allowed to, be allowed to, and they are expressing the same thing. But the only difference is that when you say can, is more common because it is easy to say it. You can play soccer, you can dance, so it's easy and short. But when you say be allowed to, you have another structure. You are allowed to, you are not allowed to. So it is a little bit longer. That's why people prefer only to use can. Yes? Now, how would you complete number one, Edwin? You said kids.
Kids are allowed to wear casual clothes.
Exactly. Constantino, I guess your microphone is open. Kids are allowed to wear casual clothes. Kids are allowed to wear casual clothes. Exactly. Good. So this is similar to say kids can wear casual clothes. Next one, number two, Lisette. Lisette.
They to be allowed shall go.
Repeat it.
Uh, I don't see fine.
It's a number two.
They to be allowed.
Why to be? You need the verb be conjugated.
Ah, they are
Mm-hmm.
allowed
Uh-huh. They are
mm,
allowed. And then?
I don't see good the letter.
Uh-huh. What are the words, Roberto Zuniga? What are the words that you have in that sentence at the end?
Chew gum.
Exactly. You have chew gum. And what is
Sugar.
chew? Chew is like, moving your jaw. When you are eating, you are moving your jaw, so you are chewing. In gum, it's like bubaloo. Bubaloo is a gum. Yes. So can you repeat it, Lisette?
They are allowed chew
Allowed.
gum.
Allowed to.
Allowed to.
Okay, but tell me all the information. Lisette, tell me all the sentence. I guess she's having problem with connection. So Francisco Spire, tell me all the information in the sentence that she was reading.
Okay, they are allowed to chew gum.
They are allowed to chew gum. Good. And the last one, David. Girls. Well, in the number one and in the number two, sorry, it could be they are allowed to chew gum if it is in your house, but if it is in school, probably you would say they aren't allowed to chew gum. David, number three, girls. David. Next one, Marlon, number three.
Girls are allowed to wear makeup.
Probably in their houses. In their houses, yes, they are allowed to wear makeup.
At the
But
school,
in school,
girls aren't allowed to wear makeup.
perfect. So in school, it is negative. Girls aren't allowed to wear makeup. In their houses, because we live in a, we can say, in a new society, girls are allowed to wear makeup at home. Roberto, do you want to ask something?
Teacher, I remember the can is used, for example, for abilities.
Mhm.
That three example, I believe, in the second option,
Mhm.
they, for me, the correct answer maybe will be they can chew because it's the ability to chew gum.
No, because
Sí.
remember that can expresses different things. Can be for ability, can
Mhm.
is also for permission, and can is for possibilities.
Yeah.
So
Uh, the instructions say both are similar, allow to like that can. I understand that.
yes, they are similar, but when they are related to permission,
Yeah.
because we are talking about permission. In that case, if I tell you you are allowed to chew gum, it's similar to say you can chew gum in the class. Yes, you can do it. You have the
Uh,
permission. Yes. In another context, for
yes.
example, if you have a kid, if you have a little kid, you can say, hey, look, he can chew gum. In that case, what is permission or ability?
No, it's ability.
It's an ability.
Yes.
So the context is different. Here we are talking about
Okay.
permissions.
Yes. But
Exactly.
my appreciation.
Yes, it's possible, but in another context. In this one, it is just about permissions. But it's possible when you talk about ability, but in another context, in a different context.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Good. Okay, now what are we going to do? As you know, you can describe the things that you can do or the things that you're allowed to, and we were checking in the photo evaluado that you had. And some of you were writing what you can do in a church, what you can do at the airport, what you can do at work, what you can do in a park. So you were describing different rules. But how do you ask this structure? how can you ask your classmate if it is possible to do that? If it is permitted to do it? For example, Joshua, how do you ask David, because David lived with his parents, I think so. So how do you ask him if it is possible to do something, if it is permitted to do something in his house? How do you ask him?
Maybe David is allowed to do and
Mhm.
room in your bedroom,
To run in your bedroom.
to run your bedroom.
Okay. So the correct one should be, is it allowed? Is it? Is it allowed? Because you need a subject. Sentence, it is allowed. Question, is it allowed? Is it allowed to run in your bedroom? Good question. Another possibility is, are you allowed to run inside your bedroom? Are you allowed to run inside your bedroom? And like that. Yes? So Edwin Mendez asked Stanley to know if he's allowed to do something at work.
Okay. Is it allowed to smoke on the into the hangar?
Stanley, answer the
Mm,
question.
it's not allowed to smoke into the hangar.
Perfect. So if it is positive, you say yes, it is allowed to smoke. If it is negative, no, it is not allowed to smoke. And then you mention the place. Yes? So what we are going to do right now is that we are going to work in small groups. Let me see. I only know that Constantino was driving. Well, but he disconnected. So we will work in groups of three. In groups of three, and one is going to be of four. So you will tell your class, you will ask your classmates if it is allowed to do something in their neighborhoods. They will tell you yes or no and why. But try to keep it like a conversation. For example, Joshua, where do you live? Zacatecoluca, if I don't make a mistake. Is that correct?
Yes, I live in
Okay.
Zacatecoluca.
Is it allowed to have a party in your neighborhood? Joshua? Is it allowed to have a party in your neighborhood?
Yes, is it allowed a party in my neighborhood?
It is allowed. It
It
is
is allowed. It is allowed
to have a party.
to have a party.
Okay. What time can you finish your party? This is another question related to the same topic.
At 1 a.m.
At 1 a.m. Okay. Is it allowed to play loud music when you have a party?
Yes, it is allowed.
Okay. Is it allowed to receive guests or people that are visitors after midnight?
No, no, it is allowed.
Why not?
Sorry, but I don't understand what is the question. Again, please.
Is it allowed to receive guests or visitors in your house after midnight?
No, no, it is allowed.
It's not allowed. It's not allowed.
It's not allowed. It's not allowed
Why?
because is um, it's not safe.
Oh, because
It's better. It's not safe. Dangerous.
it's dangerous. Okay, good,
It's dangerous.
good. Now, is it allowed to park in front of your house?
No, it isn't. It is allowed.
It isn't allowed.
It
Why?
isn't allowed because uh, it's private. I don't
Private.
know. Private.
Per.
The private for ace neighbor.
Okay, because it is private. Good. So
Yes.
this is what you're going to do. You're going to ask your classmate to know about their neighborhoods. In this case, imagine that Joshua was answering my questions. I was only asking Joshua, but if I'm working with Joshua and Nancy, one question is going to be for me and continue asking about the same things, Nancy. And then I ask another one, and so on, and so on, and so on. Yes? Manuel is entering, so let's wait for him. So we will create another group. I think he has problem with connection because he's connecting the audio and he can't. Yeah, he has problem with connection. Okay, so I will create the groups and I will text him. Make yeah, he's there. Good evening, Manuel. Good evening, Manuel. Can you hear me? Manuel? Well, I think he can. So you're going to work in groups and you need to ask your classmate about his or her neighborhood. All those questions. Are you allowed to? Is it allowed to? And like that. Obviously, try to keep it like a conversation, not only like a questionnaire. Yes, more like a conversation. Oh, really? Why? Like that. Yes. Now we are going to work in groups of three, as I was saying, and you're going to enter right now. Enter, guys. Enter, David. Enter, Lisette. Enter, Manuel. Manuel, enter. Manuel, Peraza, enter. Lisette, enter. Hi, Nancy. You're supposed to work with Manuel and Lisette, but I guess they have problem with connection. So we have Stanley over there. You can ask each other about your neighborhoods.
Okay. Stanley, are you allowed to have pets in your neighborhood?
And that's, yes, it's allowed to have pets in my neighborhood. And in your neighborhood, it's allowed?
Yes.
Is it allowed? Is it allowed?
It's allowed.
Is it? Is it allowed? Okay, but I need it more like a conversation. Like for example, Nancy said, "Is it allowed to have pets in your neighborhood?" And Stanley said, "Yes, it is allowed." So next question, Nancy, should be, "Do you have one?" Yes, I have one. What do you have? Oh, I have a cat. Oh, really? Okay. And what about in your neighborhood? Is it allowed to have pets? No, it's not allowed. Oh, I understand. But why? Because according to the rules, it says that cats and dogs can have fights, and that is not good for the neighborhood. And also because they make a lot of noise. So in the neighborhood, they like to have a quiet place, so they don't like noise. Oh, that's true. That happens in private neighborhoods, and like that, more like interaction. Yes. Start again.
Okay. Hey, Stanley, are you allowed to have pets in your neighborhood?
Nancy, yes, it's allowed to have pets in my neighborhood.
Okay. And do you have any pets?
No, I don't have, because my house is very small and I have a child, and it's complicated to have a pet in this moment. Maybe later.
But do you like pets?
Yes, I like the dogs, well, especially dogs. The cats, not much. It's more complicated to have a cat.
Yes.
And you, in your neighborhood, it's allowed.
Okay, it's allowed, but it's not healthy because, like told you, uh, my neighborhood is too little, and
Okay.
uh, for example, my neighbor house is between one no is in two meters one from the other in my
Oh, okay.
neighborhood, and
Okay.
imagine the people when their pets
Manuel, click on enter. Click on enter, Manuel.
I live in San Rafael.
Okay. Near to Zacatecoluca,
Yes,
close to
it's near.
San Rafael Obrajuelo,
Yes,
near to the market or to the how do you say alcaldía?
City Hall.
City Hall, City Hall.
City Hall. Yes,
You're living close to City Hall. Okay, in your neighborhood, it is allowed to. Is
Is
it
it?
allowed to? Is it allowed to um, have pets?
yes, it is allowed to have pet.
Whatever kind of
Yes, whatever kind of pet.
okay.
But the people around the most common pets is dogs.
Dogs.
I
Okay.
each neighbor have 2 or 3 pets. 2 or 3 dogs.
Okay.
Do houses in your neighborhood have a big yard?
Big yard.
Yes, a big yard.
Yes, it's a big yard. All my neighbor
For 3
have
pets?
a 3 pet are dangerous dog because they are how do you say de raza, perro de raza,
Breed dogs.
dog, rig dogs.
Breed.
Yes, is in 14th point. I think is so dangerous. Walk in the street at night,
Yeah, it is.
at at night and in the morning, because some neighbors uh,
Let the
go
cats
up.
let the dogs out.
Let the dog out in the street, and if you walk in the street, you you have the precaution because some dog the neighbor don't put attention,
Don't pay attention.
don't pay attention. Yes,
That is true. That's true.
yes.
What about you? Do you have one?
No, in my case, no, because I don't like it.
Okay. Do you have any children?
No, I don't have children.
Okay. Because sometimes when you have kids, it's better not to have one.
Yes, in the night, the kids go out on the street, play soccer or play bicycle,
Exactly.
but it's dangerous because there are a lot of dog in the street.
I have a bad experience when I was a kid. Riding a bicycle and a dog
Yes,
behind me. I had a really bad experience.
really.
Good. Okay, now continue like that.
Yes.
More like a conversation. Good. Continue.
Okay.
Okay.
There is a soccer field.
Oh, okay.
There is no
Baseball.
tennis, baseball. Sorry,
Yeah.
baseball field. Okay.
And Roberto, is it
Hello.
allowed? Is it allowed to play soccer into your house?
With the coronavirus, my baby is allowed to play soccer into my house.
Yeah.
And keep my television
Oh, really?
with the
Oh,
wall.
really? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
There is a bad look, and they crash. Sorry, they crack the TV or something like that.
Excuse me?
They crack the TV or they shoot off the TV.
No, only shot that. But
Okay.
3 days ago, he broke the light.
Wow.
With the
God.
wall.
I'm sorry, bro. But you are right, because for the coronavirus, my son too plays soccer into the house, but it is it or he is allowed to play soccer into the house because we can't get out.
My problem is he say every night are ball nights, and we have to play.
Okay. Let me see.
Maybe you need to change the bulb that he uses.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Maybe you need to change the bulb that he uses Try to buy one that is
For
not
a ball,
too hard.
Yeah, really, a
yeah,
plastic ball is
most of
better for the interior of the house.
Plastic,
I change,
I think
or
plastic
the,
ball.
what do you
I
say?
change that, teacher. First we start with a cotton ball, but but he don't like that to him.
He didn't like it.
He didn't like it. After that, I
yeah,
changed.
because with a plastic ball is the focus
The
is,
lights.
are broken. The lights are broken in my house.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The other one, there is one that I don't know the material. I guess is rubber, and
yeah, like
the,
a beach ball for
exactly
the beach.
like that,
Yeah,
a beach ball. So you should
yeah.
have one of those so that he doesn't break many things.
The problem is, I bought that, but he damaged that because you can think. For example, he beat or he shot with too hard, and in the corner or wherever, called the pantry, the closet, that is how do you say reventada? I don't know.
Exploded,
Yes, that is the problem.
or you can say
and
he can
in,
get flat. He can get flat.
Flat.
That's all.
Okay, he can get flat.
You're right.
Okay.
in your house, Roberto, is it allowed to to watch TV uh, at night?
It's more complicated.
Yes, because I walk a lot.
Yeah, more in the morning and in the afternoon. You have to run
But
to
it's
take the bus.
mm, mm, it's horrible at the in the afternoon.
Uh, you you go to the Ventra.
Yes,
Very good.
every day, in the morning, in the afternoon.
It's very complicated for all the co-workers that are in the hangar 6.
So you walk from your house to the bus stop or what?
No, from Hangar 6 to the bus station of Herman.
How
Then
long
the
is
bus
that?
station Herman to Hangar 6 in the morning. But
Hey,
there
teacher,
are,
you someday go to Aeroman. Did you know Aeroman?
I don't know it. I don't know it, but I would like to go. I
Yeah,
would like
teacher, you have to go to
to
know that.
to walk a lot.
Yes,
Really? How long do you walk, Nancy?
it's a lot.
For a round?
what do you say, kilometers?
Kilometers.
Maybe it's just 1.5 kilometers in the morning, but 1.5 kilometers in the afternoon.
That's a lot. 3 kilometers
Mm.
Something like that. But in the afternoon,
So,
teacher, is more complicated.
for the sun.
Yes, it's very complicated.
And why do you have transportation so far? Is not a parking near that area? Is it
no,
is it not allowed to go to that area by car or
no.
what? It's impossible.
Yes, it's not allowed to enter the
It's
We
not
have to
transportation.
walk. We have to walk every day. Only the managers and chief. Um,
can access.
yes,
Give a ride.
only they.
So
Uh,
But the poor, not.
you should wait for the manager and ask for a ride every day.
Because their teachers, only some people have access to enter a car.
I think that it would be a good idea if you asked for, I don't know, motor taxis inside the place, only to move people from one place to another one. Yes, because 1.5 kilometers is far.
Or a
Actually,
bicycle,
Or
bicycle.
bicycles. That's another one.
but to do exercise every day. It's
That
healthy for
would
me and for each employee.
maybe not for each employee, because probably you can ride one and you leave it at the gate. So the next person entering is returning with that bicycle. But maybe that would be a good option.
I will be a teacher, but the
Maybe.
number of employees,
Three people in one bike.
something like that,
Yeah, I can imagine that.
more than 3,000.
Yeah.
3,000.
Yes,
What? 3,000, 3,000.
3,000. Really?
3,000 employees.
That's a lot. So I don't think they would invest their money in bikes.
I am an ant at the Roman.
What do you say?
I am an ant in a Roman,
Really?
I think, because we are many employees.
Yeah, 3,000. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yes, but
But yeah,
someday, teacher, someday.
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
Because I don't think they would buy a bike for each one. They should buy 3,000 bikes.
no, I don't think so.
Maybe 100.
Could
Maybe.
be, could be.
But yeah, it's a long distance, 1.5 kilometers. Yes.
Teacher, how do you say, duelen mucho los pies con la caminada?
My feet, in your case, because you're describing your feet, my feet hurt a lot when I walk that distance. My
That's
feet
not nice.
hurt. You say that right.
My feet
Feet
hurt.
hurt. That's what they say. Yeah, I imagine that. Imagine every day. How much time do you spend from one point to another one?
20 or 25 minutes.
But you walk fast? Okay. Yes, like 20, 25 minutes. Probably. Good.
Have experience, teacher. She has experience.
Yes.
That's why I hate safety shoes. I hate it.
Safety boots,
Yes.
because they are heavy.
Mm.
Yes. Maybe you can change. No, you can't. After.
Yes, I can.
Really? Really?
Yes, I can.
Maybe
Because
you
I'm not work in maintenance.
maybe you could bring some tennis shoes so that you take off the safety boots and you put on the tennis or the sneakers.
Mhm.
Really? Because it is a lot. Now, I imagine old people walking for 1.5 kilometers. That would be a lot. Do people fight to get on a specific minibus, or you have already one assigned where you have to go?
No, we have a specific bus.
But people don't fight to get on the first seat or in the last seat.
No,
Every person has a seat designated, or you choose the seat that you want.
what do you say?
We choose. We choose.
Tenemos como rutas.
You have some routes.
Okay, we have route to different places to San Salvador. Maybe one is to Soyapango, the other is Santa Tecla, Metro Centro.
Okay, so probably the first person to get the minibus first is the one in the first seat, and like that. And the last person in the back seat is the last one getting off the bus or the minibus.
It's not necessary.
Really?
You can choose your seat,
Yes.
Okay.
but with the pandemic is la
Only
cantidad específica de personas en cada bus.
How many people?
one per seat.
1%.
One?
One per seat.
Really?
Yes.
Yes,
But is that a minibus or a bus?
both.
Both.
Okay.
Both.
For some routes, it's bus.
But how do you transport? Is it with air conditioner or with the windows open?
No,
No.
air conditioning.
Air conditioner.
The buzzer and the bus. The buses.
You, teacher, you sleep very well.
With the airport,
Everybody.
Really?
yes.
Yes.
For the
In the morning and the afternoon, every day.
for the traffic
Every
light,
hour.
you sleep more. Is it allowed to remove your face mask when you are inside the bus?
No, 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 no.
It's
But
not allowed.
Not allowed.
what happens if someone does it?
The are some people watching the video camera,
Oh, the
and if
video camera.
see that you take off the wear, they
Is it allowed to eat something when you travel?
in this time with the pandemic, not private.
About drinking, is it allowed to drink something?
No, no.
Anything, any.
Not
And
drinking and it is not allowed to drink. Before the pandemic and during the pandemic.
Before the pandemic, you couldn't drink.
No.
eat
Drink,
and drink is not
Water?
private.
No.
no.
No, it's private.
Okay, that's good because you are safe. In some way, you are safe.
But all the people is sleeping, teacher.
All people are sleeping.
Don't need a water.
But how do you know when you have to get off the bus? How do you know if you're sleeping?
it's a ability, teacher. like the transport public.
When you wake up, you are in Soyapango in another neighborhood.
Para some co-workers.
Yes, and go to sleep.
Okay, good. At least you
Very
sleep
easy.
for some minutes.
Yeah.
For me, 30 minutes.
30 minutes sleeping.
Yes.
That's a good
And for me, an hour, more than an hour.
Good.
Depends where you live.
Yes.
Depends where you live. Good.
It's a great benefit, teacher. Great benefit.
What about at work? Do you buy food or they give you the food or you bring your own food? How do you do it? Are you allowed to bring your own food or what?
Yes, it's allowed to bring your own food, but inside we have cafeterias that you can change your, how do you say, vale de alimentación
What do you mean? Like how do you call this? Like a ticket or something.
Yes,
with
but
your
it's with our carnet.
your ID.
So you show your ID and you get food
Yes.
for free,
Yes.
whatever you want to eat.
No, we have a limit to $2.5.
Every day.
Yes.
That's a good benefit.
Yes, but if you don't check at the, what do you say, entrada,
Entry.
at the entrance, you cannot change the ticket or the voucher. Yes.
Okay. Can you, for example, are you allowed to skip one day and the next day you spend $5?
No,
No, no.
it's, it's not
The,
allowed.
the wallet or ticket is activate every day when you check your entrance.
Okay. How about the food? Is it a good food or kind of good?
But we have to 3
Three,
p.m. to change the ticket. Oh, vale.
and we have around four cafeterias. In two cafeterias is, venden
Sell.
comida, sell food, home food, comida casera, pues,
Homemade.
homemade food,
Oh,
and two cafeterias spend, well, one spend Chinese food, and the other sell Mexican food,
Mexican food, a subway,
and have a subway.
good. You have a good benefit. You have transportation, you have
Yes,
food for free. It's good. It is
yes.
good. And how about the way that you eat? How are you supposed to eat in a cafeteria if you have a lot of people there and you don't have to be close to each other?
In this time, it's not allowed to take the food inside the cafeteria for the personal, los que somos administrativos, administrative person.
Administrative.
We
Yes,
have to take the food in
in
our
my office.
And
the
the other
office.
people?
The people of maintenance eat on the cafeterias or
But
what do you canopies, and they have put acrylic on each table.
That's a good idea. Yes, because in that case they have to remove their face mask,
Mhm.
and some of them are going to be talking. It's complicated, but
Yes,
it's good.
and everybody have time to go to it. Not everybody is go to the same time.
Good. So you have good rules at work. What about
Yes.
in your neighborhoods? Do you have any rules to enter?
um,
Do you get alcohol or something? No?
At the beginning of the pandemic, yes, some people are in the entrance, but right now, nah, they forgot that.
I don't have many restrictions before pandemic and during pandemic.
Yes, the same thing happened here. In the past, you were not allowed to enter if you didn't wash your hands, and then if you didn't put your shoes on a towel with how do you call this? It's no wax. I forgot the word. Leech, I guess it is called. Yes, with leech. Leech. How do you say leech in Spanish? Leech. Like Maxisol.
Lejía.
Lejía,
Here,
so that one, so that is leech. So you have to put your shoes on a towel full of leech to enter. And they were saying that if you wanted to enter, they also wanted to buy a bomb to throw you some liquids on your clothes at the beginning. And then I said, that's not a good idea. The problem is if you are moving, if you go out, you will get the virus. That is obvious. If you are inside your house, the possibility is low. You will have it, and this is real. For example, in my case, I stay in my house. I only visit my mom, but sometimes I ask for food, things from the supermarket. For example, today from a drugstore. So when I get the product, I know that I have to clean it, and I do it. But maybe one day, you never know, you can get it. Or when you buy water, for example, crystal water, and people come, they give me the bottles and things like that. So you need to be careful, but the possibility is lower than if you go out. So I told them this is not necessary. It is better if you stay home, because it was at the beginning. And they said, no, we have to do it because this, and this. And I say, okay, everyone can do it at home. And if you see now, nobody is there telling you that you have to put your feet on the towel, or that you have to wash your hands. No one, no one. And some people are not wearing a face mask either.
Yeah.
So they were supposed to stop the virus. And at that time, in March last year, we didn't have many cases, probably one case, and they were panicked. Now we have more than 100 cases every day, and they are not wearing a face mask. So it's not logic, but some people are like that. In the case of people who got the virus, good for them because they have like antibodies,
Mhm.
but that is only for a period of time. For a period of time,
Only for some months,
some months
not
exactly.
forever.
And I'm worried because I heard that the same thing happens with the vaccines. You can get a vaccine for, let's say, you get the antivirus or the antibodies for about 6 months, and then
Mhm.
what happens? You need another vaccine. So that means that probably we will be living with vaccines for the rest of our lives. At
But
least
I can, how do you say donate?
donate.
I can donate plasma.
Have you done it?
No, it's after 45 days to have the virus.
What's your type of blood?
O R H positivo. How do you say positivo?
Positive.
Positive.
That blood is very common.
Mhm.
It's very common. And have you gotten the virus, Tani?
No,
Not yet.
not yet.
And you don't
Thanks
want
a
it
lot.
either.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
have.
complicated when we have when you have a child. You
Mhm.
think more in your child.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. In my case, in my family, I got here in El Salvador. I got like one, two, three, four, probably like five cousins that got the virus here in El Salvador. In the U.S., maybe like 10,
Wow.
like 10. In Australia, only one, only one. But it was weird because the ones in the United States, they had the problem, but it wasn't so serious. But there was one here in El Salvador that, yeah, she had like a bad week. She didn't go to the hospital, but she was sick. And I had a friend, and she's 30 years old, and she almost went to the, well, she went to the hospital. She got therapies, oxygen, and like that. But it was curious because her mother is more than 60 years old, and she was good. It was just like a normal flu for her. And for the girl that is 30 years old, she got really, really bad. And now she still has problems. When she walks, she feels that she can breathe.
Mhm.
And that was like 3 months ago, and she still has a problem. So
That
you
happened to me on Saturday.
really,
Yes, in Ireland.
so you see, and Nancy is young, and probably someone that is old. It's not going to. I heard last time. I don't know if it was in France, a woman that got the virus, and she was 114 years old. 114 years old. It was the oldest woman in France. She got the virus, but she didn't go to the hospital. I mean, she wasn't in the hospital like intern. She just stayed home. It wasn't so serious for her. 114 years.
Yes, very old.
She is very old, but she didn't got. Some people say that it depends on the amount of virus that you receive, and
Each body is different.
I think that it's possible. And the other thing is that we have different kinds
Mm-hmm.
of viruses. So I think that one might be easy, and maybe another one is a little bit stronger. The symptoms are stronger,
Yes.
but yeah. So in your case, Nancy, I think that when you were in quarantine, you were not allowed to go out.
Hmm? Sorry?
When you were in quarantine, you were not allowed to go out.
No, no.
Did you get medicine from the government?
Yes, yes,
Did you get the test?
yes.
Hmm. So how many tests did you get? One or two?
One.
At the beginning.
Yes.
And at the end?
I think was the beginning.
Okay, but at the end you
Because,
didn't get one.
hmm?
At the end of the weeks or the 2 weeks, I don't know how many days do you get from medical leave?
No, no, no,
You
no,
didn't get another one.
no.
Okay. Because supposedly,
Yes,
according to,
I took the test because I have 5 days with fever and headache. Yes. How do you say dolor de cuerpo
body pain, or you can say sore muscles,
and dolor para respirar?
I don't know, pain to breathe,
Pain.
really.
Yes.
But you didn't feel like if you were like lacking of breath,
No.
never. Were you the
Someday.
only were you the only one in your family, or more people in your family got it?
I live only with my mom, but my mom had the virus, I think, last year, but whatever,
Symptoms. Without test.
without us, yes.
Okay. How old is she?
56 years old. She's 56.
Okay. Good.
But she is more stronger than me.
She is stronger. She's stronger than you.
Stronger than
I don't know if this is real, but some people say that the virus was before March in El Salvador. And then I was analyzing, because when I worked at Speak and we used to go to the academy, I had students, and I had one student that she didn't get to classes for more than 1 week because she was sick. She told me I got a fever, but I had never had a fever like that, she told me. And the cough and diarrhea and like that. And I said, okay. But at that time, we didn't have any cases in El Salvador. So then I remember that another student got sick too, and like that. So I think that maybe one of those students had the virus. But in El Salvador, they said that we got the first virus, a person that entered to El Salvador. I don't think that it was like that. You get or you recognize the first virus for someone that goes to the hospital. But if you don't go to the hospital, how do you know? It's like your mother. Your mother didn't go to the hospital, so she doesn't know if it was real or not.
Mhm.
And there are many people, but many people who didn't go to the hospital. They only stayed home, took some medicine, and that's it. So I think that it was probably before March. And I think that my students had that virus
Yes.
because it was true. One girl told me I had never had a cough like that, because she had especially fever, then diarrhea, and the cough. And she missed more than 1 week of classes. And she arrived and she was still coughing. But at that time, people made fun. Oh, coronavirus, laughing. I think that it was real. I think that it was
But
real.
I still have a cold after 3 weeks.
Yes,
Yes.
that's what happens.
And
Something
how do
that
you
you
say I don't have olfato?
smell,
I still don't have smell.
really.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So probably something that you can do is to take honey with lemon.
Mm-hmm.
That can help you for your throat. Because if you're coughing, your throat gets hurt.
But the doctor said me the smell takes months.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yes.
Because one of my cousins spent more than a month.
Mm-hmm.
But the other ones, in 5 days, they were ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little bit complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we were talking about different things, but we were using the structure. You
Yes.
were not
Yes.
allowed to go out. In my neighborhood, you were not allowed to enter if you didn't put your shoes on the towel and like that. So you can use it for different situations. Yes.
Yes.
Now let's go back to main station. And the other people are still in groups.
Sleeping teacher.
No, they still have 30 seconds to come back.
Yeah.
Hello, teacher.
Ah,
Sorry, I have a problem with connection.
hmm. Okay. Well, I entered to some of your groups and I heard you talking. Some of you were describing your neighborhood. Some of you said that you are allowed to have pets in your neighborhood, and many people have more than 2 or 3 pets. So, in some way, it is good, but obviously, if you let the dogs out of your house, it's not a good idea, as Joshua was saying, because some of them are big dogs, so they can bite people, they can hurt people, and like that. I heard some of you saying that you were allowed to have parties in your neighborhood. Some of you were saying that you are allowed to. Well, we even with Stanley and Nancy were talking about in the past in your neighborhood. In the past, you were not allowed to enter if you didn't wash your hands, if you didn't put your shoes on towel with bleach. So it was impossible. And I'm saying that now you are allowed to enter without face mask, without anything. Yes? So things have changed a lot. And this is basically a little bit of what we were talking about. Now, tomorrow you have the exam. This is about unit number 1 and unit number 2. Unit number 1 and unit number 2. Yes? And just one little thing. There are some people still missing the foro evaluado, so you need to complete it. Foro evaluado en entrega de ejercicios. In entrega de ejercicios, you're going to find the first exercise that was about direction, and the second one that was about be allowed to. So now you can complete it. Yes, you can complete it using be allowed to. Two things, foro evaluado and entrega de ejercicios. Complete them. Yes, and tomorrow the exam. So you have to study. Now I'm going to share the screen. You say present when you hear your name.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes. Edwin?
The second exercise is for today or tomorrow?
You have to,
For entrega de ejercicio.
in entrega de ejercicios, you have today and tomorrow to complete it. Today and tomorrow, so you still have time. For evaluado, yes, needs to be finished at least.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. Now, Felix is not here. Joshua?
Present.
Eric is not here. Marlon,
Present, present.
Adolfo is not here. Nancy,
Present.
Omar,
Present.
David, David, Francisco Gaitan is not here. Constantino is not here. He's going to work. Stanley,
Present.
Edwin. Well, but Constantino was at the beginning. Manuel,
Present, teacher.
good. Edwin, Manuel was only like 3 minutes, I guess. Juan asked for permission. Lisette, well, she was there. Francisco Spire
Present.
and Roberto Zuniga.
Present, teacher.
Okay, so what are the topics that are coming on the test and that you have to study? In unit number 1, if you remember, we were describing sequence or steps to do something. So you need to check those words like first, second, third, next, later, after that, finally. The other one was using imperatives like put, introduce, move, change, and like that. The other one was sentences with what or what clauses. What you need is what my friend did was, what I would do is, what I'm saying is, and like that. When you say sentences with what. And in unit number 2, what we start, and in unit number 1, we also study should and shouldn't. Should and shouldn't. And in unit number 2, we studied some words related to existence, like there is and there are, places in the city. There is for singular, there is for plural. We were also checking the questions. Is there a, are there any, and like that. We were describing location, next to, between, on the corner of, and we were also giving directions. Go straight, turn left, walk 10 meters, turn right, turn left, and like that. And the last topic that we have today, be allowed to. Yes, that can be in positive and negative, and questions too. Yes, so study those topics so that you can get a good score tomorrow on the test. Yes, and remember, if you have an old computer at home, try to access to Schoology tomorrow using that old computer. Yes, if you are using your cell phone. If you are using your normal computer, your computer. Yes, to do the test so that you are not entering to another place and then you miss the score because you are leaving the website. Yes, so that's all for now. Thank you for being there. I see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye, guys.
Good night.
Bye.